Hey everybody, it is Natalie, and I have been missing you. It's so good to see you. It's so good to be with you. And I'm inspired to make this video today because I've had some amazing client sessions and some amazing group coaching sessions. And there's been this common theme lately, so I thought it would be helpful if I just shared it with you in this newsletter. So what I'm realizing as I look out in the world is that there are people getting inspired. They're getting new callings in the middle of all this chaos. Chaos is a great time of creation for some, of things falling away, of new things happening. And so many people are in that process. And some people have been doing all the right, energetic things and still waiting for their lives to show the difference. And so I wanted to share with you some common pitfalls that I see when people run into that rut of feeling like, oh, I've been doing everything right, and I've been praying, and I've been meditating, and I've been fasting, and I've been whatever you think the right things are, and it's still not shifting anything. So here's the number one pitfall that people fall into in this process. The number one pitfall that I fall into, that others fall into, that you may relate to is this one. It's the pitfall of waiting for someone else to change. And I just had a client this morning who was like, well, when my husband finally realizes that he's been holding on to pain and needs to open up his heart and share his emotions, then my life will be good. In that trap, we are waiting for someone else to shift. When my boss sees how valuable I am and becomes a stronger leader, then I'll be able to move forward with my dreams. These are both examples of the number one pitfall of we're waiting for someone else to change. When you're trapped in that pitfall, we even can think we have the power to make them change, to shame them or bully them into changing the way we want them to change, rather than allowing them to simply be who they are and finding ways to change from the inside out. So that's the number one pitfall, waiting for someone else to change. The second pitfall is really similar, and the second pitfall is waiting for some element of life to change. So when the stock market changes, when Biden's not president, when I lose 25 pounds, when my kids grow up, when my house is cheaper, when we're waiting for some element of life that may or may not even be changeable, most of the time it's not. Biden is president, that's that. The weather is the way it is, that's that. Your kids are the age they are, that's that. The money is the money you have, that's that. When we are resistant to the way life is, then we can get really stuck. It feels like we are moving through molasses in our lives. And I'm going to draw a picture of you. I'm going to imagine a graph with a line that goes like this. Ups, downs, ups, downs. This is how life goes. There are good parts of life and bad parts of life, and easy parts of life and difficult parts of life. When most people think of happiness or peace, they think of that line being only good. Nothing dips down. Like if I could just control and wrestle life into only being things I like, then I'll be happy. Oh my goodness, that's like the worst thing you can do to yourself, because that's not life. My teachers used to have the saying, a puma is a puma. A puma just acts as a puma, and you can get mad and call it the devil for killing a sheep when it's hungry, but it's just a puma being a puma. Life is a puma. It's just life being life. It's not designed to be good or bad. It's just continuously in a cycle. Things are happening, things are dying, things are being born, things are dying. That's life. We're in fall right now in the Northern Hemisphere, and the cycle of life continues. To be resistant to that cycle causes great suffering for many, many, many people. So when we are stuck in pitfall number 2, it's that we're waiting for something about life to change. We're waiting for life to no longer do this, which is never going to happen, by the way. Shh, don't tell anybody. No, tell everybody. All right? When we get caught in that, we are relying on the external world to be responsible for our own internal peace. That doesn't make sense, right? It's like giving over your power and saying, here, I'll let you control my happiness. We don't want to do that. We want to play varsity. The third pitfall that people fall into during this time is this one I see a lot. I see it in myself. I see it all around. I see it in my kids. The other way that we can get stuck is when we are avoiding making a change we know we need to make. That's a big one. When we are avoiding making a change we're going to make. The way you know you're caught in this pitfall is if you feel very confused all the time. Typically, we're not really confused. Our intuition, most of the time, is just telling us an inconvenient truth, right? I remember before my divorce, I kind of knew in my guts that the relationship was coming to a close and that it was time to shift things. And I was so resistant to that idea. I didn't want that to be the truth. I didn't want that to be the information I was getting from my intuition. And so for years, I was simply confused. I felt confused. Should I this? Should I that? Should I this? Should I that? When you're engaged in a mental ping pong match, it's often a sign that you're avoiding a very inconvenient truth that your intuition actually knows. So I invite you into quiet time so you can listen to your heart, so you can listen to your intuition and hear the truth. Knowing the truth doesn't mean you have to act on it right away, but it will eliminate this story that you're somehow confused. The last pitfall that people fall into, myself included, my friends, is that we are resisting taking action or responsibility for something. We're resisting having to take responsibility for something. I see this in some of my clients that are resistant to the idea that they are unable to afford their lifestyle and they need to make a job change. And they don't want to because they should be able to manifest their dreams and have their perfect job and make the perfect money and do everything perfectly. And it's not happening right now for whatever reason. And they go into blame and shame of themselves. And that's not necessary. Sometimes that's just life being a puma. If you need money, go make it. If you want to follow your dream, follow it. Do both. So this idea of taking responsibility is sometimes very intimidating for us. Taking responsibility for our own life after a divorce. Taking responsibility to tell our boss that we are going to go to a new company. Those are hard moments. And avoiding that responsibility will keep us stuck. So those pitfalls you can all tackle by asking these kinds of questions. And my favorite one is, what decision am I avoiding? What decision do I know needs to be made and I'm avoiding it? That's where I get stuck. I get stuck in writing newsletters sometimes because I'm thinking, well, do I want to do this workshop then? Do I want to do this workshop at all? How many people? How long should it take? So I avoid all those decisions and postpone it. So what decision am I avoiding? That question will get you right out of it. And is there any responsibility that I'm avoiding? And then my other favorite question to ask is, what or who am I imagining I can change? That'll put us right back in our power answering those questions. So that's a lot of what I've been talking about with my clients. That's a lot of what I've been talking about in our groups with my corporate clients. So I wanted to share that with you as we go into the holiday season. We are getting ready to kick off Dharma School in December. And I'm so excited because we're going to talk about strategies like this and so much more. If you are ready to take responsibility for your life and start making it nourishing, nurturing, and exactly the way you want it, then I want you to come and join us. This may be one of the last times we do the 4-weekend format for level 1. So if you're thinking about doing Dharma School, this is the year for it. We're going to be switching up the format in 2023. So come and join us this year. It's going to kick off the second weekend of December, and you can email me and I will be happy to talk to you about that. The email is natalie@naughtyshaman.com. Well, it's been nice chatting with you. Thanks for tuning in. It's nice to imagine all of your faces as I see your name on the email list, and I am sending you so much good energy and so much good fortune. Take care.